So, this is what is on my mind today. Before a leader can choose to do a new thing, to behave differently, she has to be willing to see things differently. She has to be willing to perceive a situation differently. If a leader, I'm talking about myself, if I am attached to the idea of being right, to operating from my I know mind. That's what I call it in my spiritual practice, the I know mind. When I'm activated or triggered by something in my environment, I will be moving from fear and contraction. I will know who's right and who's wrong. I will just know what's good for me, what's not good for me, and I will know what's possible and what's impossible. And so I've been thinking about the idea of willingness as a sacred leadership practice. The last time you saw me alone, I was feeling under resourced. I was having a challenging day as a leader, and I turned to my sacred text that guides me in my shifts in consciousness, A Course in Miracles, particularly Lesson 128. The world I see holds nothing that I want. And that lesson was inviting me to rethink the world as this real thing, helping me to see that the world is a projection of my mind and that it can be divinely reinterpreted at any moment. And so this invitation, the world I see holds nothing that I want, is a way of interrupting our attachment to the certainty of what our eyeballs are showing us. But in the very next lesson, lesson 138, that lesson reads, beyond this world, there is a world I want. And the invitation here is to be willing to see a new thing, to experience a new thing, be willing to have a shift in consciousness. And I'll read directly from the Course. It specifically says this. It says, practice your willingness to make this change, to perceive differently, 10 minutes in the morning and at night, and once more in between. Begin with this, and there's an italicized mantra. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. I choose to see that world instead of this, for here is nothing that I really want. Then close your eyes upon the world you see, and in the silent darkness, watch the lights that are not of this world light one by one, until where one begins, another ends, and loses all meaning as they blend in one. Today, the lights of heaven bend to you to shine upon your eyelids as you rest beyond the world of darkness. Here is light your eyes cannot behold, and yet your mind can see it plainly and can understand. A day of grace is given you today, and we give thanks. And so this is one of those moments in the Course where it invites us to distinguish between sight and vision. The Course invites us to apply true denial to what the eyeballs are showing and to close our eyelids. It teaches us that real vision does not need the body's eyes at all, that we can close our minds and imagine and envision a new possibility. But first we must be willing. And this is why I'm reflecting today on willingness as the core of a sacred leadership practice. And so there's some questions when I feel myself getting hijacked, when I feel the ego active, when I'm believing what my physical senses and my eyeballs are showing me, when I'm in my I know mind and I'm just certain I know, who to be, what to say, what to do, where to go, and all the things, it's very important for me to practice the pause and be willing to do that. And then to close my eyelids and to activate vision. So when I close my eyelids to activate vision, I start with a simple prayer. And it is, Holy Spirit, help me to see this differently. I am willing. Willingness stops my ego mind from taking over and moving quickly into interpretation. When I say I'm willing, when I say I want to be wrong, I want to see this differently, I'm creating a small opening in my consciousness, a small aperture where my angels, guides, ancestors, archangels can pour in, can flood in, and activate a new state of mind, a new consciousness. And it's critical when I'm in that state of receptivity, of willingness, when I've called on higher mind, divine mind to help me to see something different and to support me in being willing to do that. It's important that I ask myself some questions. One question is this: what is actually happening here? Not what I'm interpreting, not the story I'm telling myself, not my ego wanting to attack and separate, right? And to be right. But what is actually happening here? Can I objectively and impartially, kind of like a movie projector, just describe what is happening without a lot of emotion and story around it? Can I pause my interpretation from the colorful, the colorful storytelling? So what's actually happening? The next question I ask myself when I'm willing to see things differently is, what is fear telling me this means? What is fear? Because I'm clear that it's fear. What is fear, the contraction, telling me this means? The next question is, what might love reveal here? If I apply true denial and refuse to see separation and refuse to attack and refuse to storytell, if my pure intention is to join, is to be in unity consciousness, is to believe the best here, is to really see the lesson, is to see beyond the conflict, the upset, the defenses of myself and others. If I'm really willing to invite love in, what would it reveal to me? And then I have to stop and be in silence and just allow a new voice, my vision, to show me something differently. And then when I'm in that place, when I've allowed a new vision, a new possibility to come in, then I ask myself, what's mine to do? What's the action that I can take in this moment? Now, on some days when I'm really hijacked, this could take a long time. I might need some time to be willing to practice the pause, to say, I'm going to close my eyelids. I'm not going to believe what my physical senses are telling me. And I'm going to activate my vision, because you don't need your eyeballs for that. And I'm going to ask myself these questions. What's actually happening? What is fear telling me? What might love reveal? And what is mine to do? That can take a long time, but on some days, it can be very quick. It can be very, very quick. And so that is the offering that I have for you today, the offering that lesson 129 of A Course in Miracles brings to us. It says, beyond this world, there is a world I want, but we have to want it. We have to want to use our vision rather than our sight. We have to be willing. There has to be a desire. And when there is a desire, when we are receptive, when we allow the aperture, the small opening, when we actually then activate the vision and call on help, anything is possible. And so the core message that I'm leaving you with today is that you, me, as a sacred leader, we are not trapped in the world that fear might be showing us in this moment. Another way of seeing is possible if we are willing. A sacred leader does not merely react to the world, we respond. And usually that comes after being willing to practice the pause, being willing to invite love in to stop fear in its tracks. And so, with that, I'll say I am the Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Jenkins. I hope this message resonated with you. I hope it offered you some wisdom today. Here we believe that the future of leadership is sacred and that love is a transformative force for change, especially in a world that wants to keep us contracted in fear. And so with that, may you have a beautiful, blessed day.